Hey, what's up everyone, known as Geeks. I'm going to show you how to install the legrand universal motion sensor switch by Pass and Seymour. Model number is RRW600 UTCCCV4. So what we need to do first things first is I hold no responsibility for any of the damage that caused to your home or to yourself. You need to follow the instructions down to the very letter, down to the very T. Cross your T's and dot your I's. Make sure you do everything that I tell you. Your electrical cabling could be a different color. I can't really tell you what it's going to be like, but usually the hot cable, the power cable, will be black. So what we need to do is we need to find your electrical panel. This basically controls electricity anywhere that's inside your home, your commercial building, wherever you're at. So they usually have something like this. See how it says stack dryer and it says all the way down to 37, right? Okay, so this means that all these are connected to an electrical device. What is a stack dryer? Those are stack dryers right over there. The white ones that are, you know how there's one on top and on the bottom? That's a stack dryer. So if I shut off number one, it'll turn off this stack dryer that's right here, because that's number one. And then and so on and then so on. So for me, I need to look for the lights mechanical restroom. So I need to turn it off. Once I turn it off, we see how it says number 6. Number 6. Off, on, off, on. I cannot stress enough that you need to have this switch off. If you have more than one, find out which one it is by leaving a light on. Once you have the light on, let's see, for example, I'm going to flip the switch. I'm going to turn this back on. Once I turn that back on, I'm going to flip the lights that are in here. You see how the light turned on? So once I flip the switch, the light turns off. That means that you turned off electricity to that point where you're trying to install it. So once you have turned off electricity, if you don't know which one it is and you can't see it from your location, let's just say you have to walk from one point to another. Get a walkie-talkie, call somebody, and tell them, hey, stay here, and make sure the electricity is off. So you do this before you do anything other than taking off the faceplate. So let's get to the faceplate as you've seen earlier in the video, so I can show you what to do next. Before you touch anything on the faceplate, which is going to be something like similar to this or something else. Okay, you're going to need rubber gloves, black tape, which is electrical tape, and then you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver or a flathead. You'll take off the screws on the little panel that looks like this. You'll take the one screw off here, take the screw off there, and the other one, and the other one. Once you take it off, you're going to have something that's similar to this right here, either a rocker switch or a flipped switch, which is something like this. Okay, now once you take off the panel, of course, put your rubber gloves on, and then take off the screws that are on the actual device itself. Would be right here and right here. For something else like the rocker switch, you'll have it right here, and then you'll have it right here. These little tiny holes on top are just to keep it in place with a faceplate. So once you take those off, pull the devices out slowly as much as possibly can without having the cables touch. You don't want any of the cables touched. If there's something bare inside there with the little jacket on there other than black or other than green and bare cable like this, please, you can hurt yourself, you can kill yourself, and you can damage properties to any wherever you're at. I remember, I do hold no responsibility for anything that you do not follow instructions in this video. Okay, so with your electrical current device, while the electricity is still on, again, you can grab your electrical device. The electrical device, I don't have one to show you, but I will post a link and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So, example, let's just say my finger was the electrical device. So when you get close to it, it'll go beep, 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 and the light will be flashing so you can see it. That basically tells you that that wire that you're testing it has electricity flowing into it. So when the electricity is flowing into it, you want to go ahead and take that off when the electricity is off, and then you move it to the side, and you can either cap it off with the nut or just leave it like that because electricity is off. Remember, test it. When you have the electricity off, test it. If there's no electricity into that wire anymore, make sure you go to the other ones. Don't shake the little device because the little device makes the noise and flashes. That's how it was designed. So grab that wire, put it to the side, and it's the power one. Test it. No sound, nothing is going out of it. And test the other cables, no sound. Then electricity is off. So you would take that cable off the device, and you set it to the side. Once you set it to the side, you're going to have other cables. For example, I have 2 other black cables. Now these black cables lead to those, the light and the fan. The light and the fan is basically, it's gonna, okay, so this is how it works. The black cable, electricity flows into the device right here, flows into the device, and then when somebody walks in, which is the motion sensor right here, the eye, when somebody walks in, the light, this little device will send electricity into the red cable, out into this cable, into the nut, and back into the device, which will power those. So you can use it for anything else, a fan, a garage door, not a garage door, anything else that you want it to set, it will work. But you got to make sure the specs are basically the same. If you have something that sucks up 80 hertz or 70 hertz, 100 hertz, make sure you don't connect that stuff to this device because it only supports up to 80 hertz and 120 volts. So once you find out your power cable, move it to the side, get your other devices, move them to the side, and then from there, you want to nut down the power cable with the black, and then your other devices, you want to connect them, the two, or if it's 1 or 2, whatever it is, connect it to the red one with the nut, and then you twist it on there. Make sure you twist it on really, really hard. I mean, you got a lot of room to twist it on there, and then it'll eventually stop or get really, really tough. And once you have that on there, you're done. The yellow wire is for complicated circuits. You don't really need to mess with this. So just take out the plastic sheath on it, and then twist the nut onto it, and you're done. Then from there, you want to grab your ground cable. Either it's naked with no plastic around it, or it has green. This cable is the earth. If it's connected correctly to the wall or device, whatever how it works, it would usually go directly to the dirt. The earth, yes, the dirt. That's how it works. It's connected to like a pole, and this prevents you from being shocked, like electrocuted. But make sure you wear rubber gloves. Again, once you got your ground cable, you connect your ground cable to this green screw. There are other devices that look exactly like this. Okay, one, it will probably be the older version. It will have a green cable coming out of this. That green cable is basically dirt. That's ground. So once you have your cables as you're supposed to, power with black, which is hot. So black with black, and then the other devices, whatever you're trying to connect to, should be black too. You connect it to the red, you twist the nut on, and then you cap the yellow one off, and then you get the ground, and then you connect the ground to this. Now these wires are very tough to bend. So what you need to do is get yourself some pliers. Make it just as the U. You see how there's like a U shape right here? Kind of like a horseshoe or staple type shape. So you make it as much as possibly as the U. And the screw is already out. They take the screw out as much as possible. You can't take the screw out. It's stuck in there. So it's already out to its maximum point. So you wrap it around it, and you kind of pull on the device a little bit, and you'll start touching the inner of the screw. You see how it's inside of the inner screw? Then you bend it towards this way. So once you have like a little tiny hole, like a little loop like that, then you want to tighten it down as much as possible. I use a drill, which is a drill and a hammer in one. Yeah, it's loud. You can use that and go slowly and screw down the screw and make sure it's all the way tight. Make sure it's really tight. This powers the device. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You got your hot going into it, your electricity, and then you got your ground. Without that, it's not going to work. So basically, that's everything, guys. Just to recap, your power cable goes to the black and only that power cable. And then you got your other devices that go to the red. And then from there, you got the ground. So how this works is power goes through into the box, which is the black cable. And then when somebody walks into the room, it'll send somebody in the room. And then electricity will flow into the red cable, out into the nut, because the nut has copper in the inside too. And then it'll flow through the actual cable, allowing the electricity to turn on to the devices or whatever you have connected. And then from there, make sure no wires are touching any other wires. Make sure you have everything cap off. Leave the white wires alone. You don't need to touch those. Leave them alone. These basically are fine the way they are. If your cabling looks like black cabling, white cabling, and ground or green sleeved cabling, then that's basically it. That's how yours is. Or it could be a different color. But usually hot is always black. All right, guys, once you have that done, how to program it, I have mine for 15 seconds. So the light on this little device is going to flash. Once it starts flashing, wait 30 seconds, hold it down for 15 seconds. So 1, 2, and you'll see this flash up to, when it gets to the 10-second point, it'll flash. Blink, 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 blink. You keep going to 15 seconds and you let it go, and then it'll blink again. Let it set itself and then move around, and the device will send electricity into whatever you're trying to power. And boom, it works. All right, guys, if you got any